Example 5.20. All of the molecules we've examined so far have had 8 electrons around the central atom. That is, the central atoms have always obeyed the octet rule, but this isn't always the case. An example would be beryllium. Beryllium has this electron configuration, and when we do our electron tally for the molecule beryllium hydride, you'll see that there will be fewer than 8 electrons around the central atom. Let's just investigate this now. So, to do my electron tally, well, we have one beryllium atom and we have 2 hydrogen atoms in this molecule. Looking at a periodic table, you see that beryllium is in group 2A and hydrogen is in group 1A. This means beryllium has 2 valence electrons and hydrogen has 1 valence electron. Looking at my simplified version of a periodic table, which, if you haven't done so, take a look at the beginning of this video sequence. Beryllium is in the second column, so it's got 2 valence electrons. Hydrogen is in the first column, got 1 valence electron. So writing that down, beryllium has 2 valence electrons. Hydrogen has 1 valence electron. All right, so that means we got 1 times 2 and 2 times 1. So when beryllium has 2 valence electrons, 2 hydrogens each have 1 valence electron. So for our total, 2 plus 2 is 4. We have 4 valence electrons in this molecule. Well, I'm going to put the beryllium down as the central atom. I'm going to put a hydrogen on either side of it. And I'm going to connect each of the hydrogens to the beryllium with a single line representing the sharing of a pair of electrons. Well, now I'm going to put those electrons on that line. Okay, so here's a pair of electrons on that first line, and that line represents a chemical bond, a covalent chemical bond between beryllium and hydrogen. And on the other side, I'm going to put a pair of electrons. So now, well, the hydrogens, the S-side atoms, are happy. Hydrogen only wants to have 2 electrons. Beryllium has 4 valence electrons around it, and there are only 4 valence electrons to distribute. So beryllium is happy with the 4 valence electrons around itself because, well, there just aren't any more electrons to put there. So this is an example of an exception to the octet rule, and beryllium is one of the atoms that have this exception. Nevertheless, this is a happy Lewis electron dot diagram.